Welcome back to Mountain's Garage. This is my 5th attempt shooting the intro to this video. I don't often tell you how many mistakes I made filming the video, but we're off to a less than good start. But welcome. It's a beautiful day here in the state of Maine. The forecast says for the next 7 to 10 days, it's going to be low 70s, low humidity, and beautiful. This is the week of change. The full moon is this weekend. My mother, born in 1929, swears that the weather on or around the full moon will dictate the next 3 weeks worth of weather, predominantly. That's as close as you can nail down Mother Nature. She's kind of fickle, but keep an eye on it. You got the rest of your life to do it. Keep an eye on it. Today we're going to do a stripping video for a Turbo 400. I'm not a big fan of doing that, but I'm going to do it different today. I'm going to, after removing all the boring stuff, the bolts, valve body, and all the peripheral stuff, I'll turn the camera on and we'll take the guts out of it live. This should be an interesting transmission because, despite missing the tag, it has a metal vent which tells me it's pre-1975. It has an 895 casting pump, induction hardened, showing all 8 bolts, so I know it's an 8-bolt case. The 895 casting pump could also have 6 bolts, always 8 on the backside, but you got to drill the forward 2 on the cover if you want to convert it. But you already knew that because you watch all my videos. It has a history I don't know of. I was surprised when I tipped it up into the bucket and it looked like a strawberry shake. The oil and water were still mixed. They've settled out in the bucket over time. A couple months it's been sitting here. Why was it still mixed in the transmission? I don't know. Shallow pan, that'll have to go. It has a 27 spline 4-wheel drive output shaft. It has to be aftermarket. Chevrolet never did that I'm aware of. To put this back in the day into a half-ton truck. Odd, I think I've showed you already, I have a Gearstar 480E with a modern adapter, 27 spline output, and the adapter to put in a late model truck. So, years before, this is what we were doing. Now we're swapping in the grown-up brother of the Turbo 400 with overdrive. So, it happened back then, it happens now. It has a cable drive modulator, TV cable, hooked to the modulator on the top. It's broken off, but so this had to be behind a diesel without a vacuum pump. Was it an early bread truck with a 4BT Turbo 400 combination? I don't know. And then they took that transmission and converted it to 4-wheel drive. I don't know. I don't think they make 4-wheel drive bread trucks. I'm trying to think of a factory application because this looks kind of factory. I think you can still buy that though, so it could be aftermarket as well. Either way, it was probably behind a diesel. I don't know any other reason why you'd have a cable drive modulator to control your shifting. But it's here, and I'm going to save it. It looks like a normal TV cable. I could probably make it work in something. I've always dreamed of doing some kind of, Cummins conversion. I don't think I'd use a Turbo 400 though. It's a great transmission, but with a diesel, I want to lug that thing down. I want as many gears as I can to pull it down. But anyway, this isn't a diesel swap show. We're stripping a Turbo 400. So like I said, I'm going to take all the peripheral stuff off, and I'll turn the camera back on, and we'll pull the guts out and inspect that, and I'll show you the tools and stuff that I use to do that as efficiently as possible. All right, we stripped off the valve body and whatnot. That's the cable drive modulator. The pan has a light gray sediment coating everything where it drained out. It's definitely been apart before. On the old style kickdown solenoid, it had one, cadmium plated bolt. Indication that somebody's been into it before. Nothing was stripped out. The valve inside the governor does not go back and forth anymore, so I don't think it was shifting very well. Let me set you up. We'll go around and rip some stuff. Yeah, you might want to see what's going on with the pinch, so let me tilt you down a little bit. You can stare at my belly. All right, we're back. Gloves, safety glasses. We're good to go. So I took the valve body off. Initial impressions, it's nice and clean other than where the gray sediment has settled because it's been sitting in this position. So I'm going to go ahead and take the center support bolt out. I have an old Craftsman 12-point chrome socket. It does no damage to the case. If you run a big socket in there, it should go right in and out without hurting the case. Kind of fun to have somebody to talk to. Fun. Get rid of that. Back to the 1/2 inch. Now there's a few methods to remove the pump. First thing I like to do, just see how much end play we have. That's about average. Feels like a lot, but most of them are like that. Sometimes that's enough to break the pump loose. So to break the pump loose, you can pry in under the pressure regulator. You can assist with a slide hammer on the opposite hole. It's a threaded hole here and here. Lately, I've had pretty good luck using this rig. Bought it on eBay, 20 bucks. See if I left it in the right position. I did not. Go to commercial. And this will do one of two things. It'll either stop bending and break, or it'll pop the pump up. Or you can give it a little, whoop, there she goes. I was going to give it a little assist with the screwdriver, but she decided to come out. And it makes a handy handle to take it out. I like to go ahead and pop the pump apart. I guess I'll leave the gasket, but where's my scraper? Habit, I forgot you're watching. I like to take everything off as I go. How hard the gasket stuck is a good indication as to how hot the transmission got. I like to go ahead and strip it in half. To see if it's any good. Looking for wear. A little smell, not bad. That's perfect. That's good. I don't need my glasses for anything up close, so. This pump does not have the extra cavity, showing no wear though. That's very nice. And I always check, see if it's dot up or dot down. There's no dot, but you can see the wear pattern, so you'll be able to figure out which way it went. Put that off to one side. Next up, forward drum. Dropping parts. Thrust washer. So, with my handy pocket screwdriver, it is about the minimal you want to attack the snap ring with, but in this case it'll work just fine. Keep things separate here. That's in good shape. Ooh. As expected, aluminum pistons. Nothing special there. It's only a 4 clutch. Yep. Huh. Yep. 4 clutches. They're still in okay shape. I'm looking at the part number. With the wave plate, it'll have a high piston in it. When we take it out, I'm not going to take that out, but at least we have an aluminum piston we can cut down that has a lot of shoulder on it because it was only a 4 clutch. Off to one side. To get the direct drum out, I like to use this big hook. I hook right in under. Take it right up. Otherwise, there's nothing to grab onto. You can't get your hands down here unless you're Superman. You really can't grab that very well. Band looks nice. So, back to the pocket screwdriver. Wait. It's a squeaker. That means it's not a round back drum. But we'll make sure in a second. Five clutch. No wave. Aluminum piston, that's good. But this will be a disappointment. Surprising. But again, somebody's been into it before, so hope you can see me here. That's a roller type drag, so just an average. Be good for a street transmission, I guess. I use them occasionally, depending on the goal. That's a disappointment. I expected a round back drum. Somebody stole it. Now, to get the intermediate clutch snap ring out, I have my favorite Craftsman screwdriver with a worn-out notch in it, and the same pick. This one is in not a great position, so I guess I'll use the bigger snap. Get hooked under it. I wish you could say, I guess I could bring it around, but I only got so many hands. But the trick is to get under it. You keep pulling up with the hook. And out she comes. We'll throw that right in the trash. We're not going to use it. Grab the intermediate clutches internally. Same thing, I'm reading the part number. 3 clutch with a wave plate. Very average. Now we need to attack the center sport snap ring. Same deal. I'll start with this one, I guess, because it's rotated itself to the same spot as the intermediate clutch snap ring. It goes right down against the case in the void. It makes it kind of difficult to get a hold of. But we'll get it. That's what the hook's for. Boing! The bevel snap ring, where it should be, against the center support. Now, you've seen this tool before. It's a J tool. Right on the intermediate shaft. Make sure everything else is disconnected. If you have the governor still in it or the speedometer driven gear still in it, you're gonna wanna get it out of the way. Teflon seals. Interesting. Aluminum piston, we like that. Spec thrust washer, we'll reuse that one forward. We'll finish the, has a fretting ring, rear band, perfect shape. I'll just make sure the little roller's working. Nylon thrust washer. The race on the first bearing normally sticks in place. Pull it all out together. I like to keep the bearings all together. Inspect them all. This has, some of the old ones only have half the rollers in them. That's a good one, as long as it's in good shape. That thrust washer will get replaced with the one from the back of the case. Check all of our rollers. Again, just by rough feel before you clean it. They should all wiggle about the same. Surface where the band rides looks good. Perfectly usable. That is chamfered down like it should be. So that was installed correctly. Now for the hardest snap ring in the case. You gotta pick a method and go with it. Yeah, this looks like that'll be the trick. Just like that. That I'll clean up and do something with. 27 spline, very odd. Spot for now. Bearings are all in good shape. Check the rollers here. A nice transmission. Disappointed about the sprag. I mean, I have plenty of drums, but it never hurts to have more. Now I'm not done stripping until I remove the linkage. The cool lines, this one has a broken piece, but take the fittings right out of the case. The pressure tap, I take that out. When I wash it, the kick down pass through, which is a blue one, which is odd, usually a tan. Again, I think I mentioned the linkage and the nail. Everything has to come out so you can properly clean it. So let's go back in front of the camera. I have about a half hour getting familiar with this transmission. I have what I believe is a very nice 8-bolt case transmission. All the threads are good. The center support area where it seals is in good shape. Everything's good until I look there. How that got broken around the shift shaft. It's all the way through. Now it could be welded, but I'd never sell it to anybody. So I guess I got myself a case. I could make a street transmission out of it, I guess, if I ran out of cases. That's a bummer. But that's why you have to inspect everything. What a shame. You probably didn't come here to see a grown man cry, but we're close. Again, I'm about a half hour into fondling the thing, stripping it apart. I think I got myself a pretty nice case. You know, as I'm working, I'm thinking, what am I going to do with it? You know, it's really nice. Build something spectacular out of it. And then you find a crack. Oh well, like I said, I don't necessarily need another case for myself, but I can't sell it to you, so here she sits. It was a nice one too. A lot of these, being so old, I mean, you need a case of helicoils just to make the thing usable. Every thread in this case, every hole is perfect. But it doesn't matter how many times I repeat the same thing, it doesn't matter. So this transmission was somewhat of a disappointment, but my next move I have, well, unfortunately just out of sight, but I bought a bunch of beautiful 8-bolt cases with the bellhousings cut off for shipping. They were not Chevrolet cases anyway, which makes them better. And I was going to pull from my parts shelf and, you know, like I normally do, build the transmission completely out of parts. Seldom do I strip one and just change the case, and I wouldn't cut the bell housing off this case because it's not broken. Now I have all this complete transmission on the bench. I'll just take one of those cases and build myself a whole transmission instead of robbing all, you know, every piece off the shelf. It's all in one neat package. It'll remain together with a different job to do. So that's going to be a nice transmission. It's going to have a BTE bell housing and a 300M input and main shaft. 1+2 ATD, automatic transmission design brake. That'll be a good one. So in future episodes. Thanks for following along today. I'm going to go dry my tears. Catch you in a few.